It was a little bit. I also think it affected a little bit the tempo and speed of the game, where we tried, but we could also see, the closer we got to these 90 minutes, it slowed down, and of course it is hot out here today.
What have you learned from your team so far in the 3 games?
Obviously, we keep developing. We can see where we need to improve. We can see where we need to be better. I think it was good to see the overall structure in the game from our players, that we had a good control on the ball. The moments in the game where they tried to put us under pressure, we were not really stressed, and we kept our structure and played well. Then of course we should have created more chances, and that we have to look at, so we can threaten them even more in the good moments of the game that we had. Overall okay, but we can still do better than this.
Great to have a few more players back today as well, especially Captain Hanley. What have you made of him so far?
He's a great personality. You see that from day one, and I'm really delighted to have him back, because what he brings to the group, both of experience but also personality, is very important. And that was clear and obvious for everyone from day one. So it's good, and again, it gives us more options on the positions we have. So it's good finally, more or less, to be back, all of us. From Monday next week, we have the whole squad together again.
Adam Ida played a fantastic pass for Borja Sainz's goal. How impressed have you been with him? How much would you like to keep him?
Like we said from day one, he's a vital part of the group and of the squad here. Luckily and fortunately, we have players where there's also interest from other clubs. We should always strive to have that. That's important for us. But he's working hard in training. He gives a good energy and mood to the group. So he's really doing well, and it also, I hope it's obvious for him and everyone that he will play a vital part for this team here.
How impressed were you with Sainz's goal? He took it really well, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a good goal. It's a very good goal. It's composed, and instead of shooting from a tight angle, then he takes the ball back and finds a better angle. It's a good goal. We should have scored more in first half. I think we had the opportunities. Again, a little about the efficiency, because I think we should have not killed the game, but of course have a better result going to halftime.
A lot of young players are with you on this tour.
Yeah.
There's been some real standouts actually. Brad Hills is one of those. Can he play a part in your team next season?
That's what we have to find out. I would say that I think there's a lot of quality in the group. Of course, we cannot have too many players, and for some, even though we believe in them, it can be the right option to go on loan somewhere. But I think he's been performing well together with a lot of the others. So it's not for us to take any decisions now. But now we have seen in these 3 games what the young guys can do. Now, of course, we start to find the squad a little bit more starting from next week, where we'll not do that many changes in the games from now on. But now we have more or less given minutes to everyone in the group. So that's important for us. It's important for them, and it gives us some good answers.
Obviously, Angus Gunn has been injured. How is he doing? Will he be all right for next week?
I think that's the plan, and if not next week, then hopefully in the first game in Austria. He's with us down here to Belgium just to be a part of the team, and can also do some stuff in gym and so on. And it's not a severe injury, so hopefully he'll be back quite soon.
In the coming days, any incomings, any outgoings that we need to be aware of?
Absolutely no idea. Just I spoke to the team and prepared the trip home. So we land in Norwich tonight and find out.
And looking forward to playing a home game next week.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. I would say again, to see the yellow fans on the stands today is always nice. But of course, to be at the stadium for the first time, that's going to be a great afternoon. So we look forward to that. But first of all, a good week leading up to that. That's important for us. But we are in a good place in this preseason now, and like I said, we're looking forward to have the whole squad together. So now we can really start to build.
Yeah, and it's just, I know the result isn't what matters, but because you clearly was frustrated with their goal. You know, you were into the 4th official. Was there some issue in the build-up or a previous phase?
Yeah, there was a free kick to Kellen, and at the end it ended up being a free kick to the opposition instead. So I told Glenn to get an answer from the ref why this could happen. So we hope we finally got that.
And moving it on, I think obviously there was a lot of drinks breaks. There was one drinks break in particular, one of the first couple, where you gathered all the players round and you seemed quite animated, body language. Were you just a little bit frustrated maybe with a little bit what you saw, maybe the positions they were taking up? Or
No, more the speed in the game. I think we had the opportunities to accelerate it even more, where we instead decided to go back and start building again, where I actually think we could have progressed and started to have more runs in behind and more passes in behind. And I think we could have done that, because I think overall we had a very good control, especially in first half, and they were not really threatening us with anything. And the structure was there in place, so we just needed a little bit more initiative, a little bit more movements in behind. So we tried to animate that to the players.
You've been asked about Scottish lads, but obviously Nacho, Marcelino Nunes back in the group, first minutes today on the pitch. Your overall thoughts now you've had a few days to work with him?
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great personality, even though I really don't understand him that well, and I don't think he understands me as well that much. So luckily we have a Spanish assistant coach who can translate as much as possible. He's a fantastic guy. He's a great personality. He gives so much energy to the group, and always with a smile on his face. And you can also see when he plays that he's with a lot of energy. So definitely a very important player for the group.
And another central midfielder I wanted to ask you about, you got him on there in the second half, Liam Gibbs, young player, homegrown player, come through. Obviously had his injury problems, he's missed the back end of last season. Do you like what you see there? He's a very technically gifted player, good on the ball.
Yeah, he is, and I like already what we've seen in training sessions, because he's really been starting well, even though he's been out for such a long period. And so I will say that the level that he started with in training was on a higher level. At the moment, obviously, we have to be careful with minutes and so on. So today he was restricted to only 30 minutes. But that's okay. We built him nice and easy. But from what I see, he will definitely compete for one of the positions on midfield.
Kellen Fisher, who you have had a look at in midfield in the last two games, tried him at left back today. Obviously, we associate him with right back. Are you impressed with him, because you're clearly trusting him with a lot of minutes in these early games?
Yeah, he's a young player, but from what I see, he's good enough to play. So we give him the minutes, and also for us to find out where we actually think he's best. I can see him having this role where he can be a part of our build-up, but also be a link to accelerating the game sometimes, because he's so comfortable in these small areas. We just have to find the right position for him also in training and then leading into games. So what we do at the moment is to find some answers, also with him, to find out where he's most comfortable, and then to find the best possible position. But he's a great player, and hopefully a player that we will see a lot in the future. You
talked after the Northampton game that you'd like to see as soon as possible signs of a base with a group of players in positions that you could conceivably see, and when the championship season comes around, even in your own mind, even if we're not seeing the evidence on the pitch, are you starting to make form those opinions?
Yeah, we are, and of course everyone could see there was also a difference first half and second half team today. So it is because we start to find that base, even though we still want to keep some positions open, and we still want to make it very clear for everyone that if they work well and hard, then there will be a spot for them in the team. So that's also important for us to send that signal that we haven't just decided from day one. No, we open up, we want to see players, we see a lot of young players as well. We get some answers, and then, like I said, from start of next week, we have to shape the squad a little bit more. We have to find our base a little bit more leading into the game on Friday, and then the training camp in Austria.
Heading back tonight, did you get what you wanted out of this trip? Before set foot on the plane, you would have had objectives. Do you feel you're going back now knowing a little bit more about these players?
I would say we have a good idea of where we are at the moment, where we need to be better, and where we need to pay some attention the next couple of weeks, so we can be as good as possible for the first game in the championship. So I think we got some good answers against two good teams here from Belgium, which is also important in training camps to have high quality matches, and I think we got that here. So definitely what we asked for was answers, and I think we got some.
Yeah, a couple more if I can. No, Duffy today, believe he just went back early, but in terms of the injury aspect of that, nothing concern?
No, I'm not concerned, but he picked up a small knock actually in one of the sessions before we went down here. But he went with us, but couldn't really get it started the first training day. So we just decided that for these players where they will not play any minutes here in the games, it's better for them to be back and have even better facilities to start their progression again, so they can be back as fast as possible. Any
update on Barnes? When we spoke to you this time last week, you kind of wasn't quite sure how that might play out, but week further on, any clearer?
Yeah, still injured and not back on the pitch yet, so it'll take some time. hopefully again as quick as possible, but it will take some time. He's not on the pitch.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you about transfers because you've already said you don't expect anything before you set foot back in England. But set piece coach, where are you with that as a club? Are you hoping to make an appointment there sooner rather than later? You know, Andy Hughes obviously went off to Leicester.
I think we are close.
Good. How close?
I think we are close.
Okay. Do you want to give us any clues? Okay. So that particular search is nearing a conclusion, it's safe to say, yeah?
That's your words. But,
well, that's how I define close, yeah.
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 I think it's fair to say.
Good man. Okay, thanks for your time. Cheers, bro.
You're welcome.